Hello snowboarders of the internet, I am your host TC and this is Top 5s, the only weekly top 5 show in snowboarding that you come to see which boards are going to make it so you can buy your skills instead of learning how to just ride. On today's episode we're going to be talking about the top 5 Price is Right boards for the 24-25 season. Number 5, the Apex Orca. This board pretty much has all of the fanciest tech that LibTech makes, and they just put it in this board. They put 3D top sheet on it where there's some core milling in the nose and the tail just to cut down on that swing weight. They filled it with recycled plastic bottles, so it's a little bit more eco-friendly as well. This board is gonna ride nice and damp, but it's still gonna be reactive. So when you're going over all of those less than ideal conditions, it'll take it. Since it is more of that twin-shaped board, you can ride it switch a little bit better than the regular Orca. But yes, this thing is coming in at a big price tag, so just keep in mind, you do get all the fanciest tech and a super cool top sheet that Travis designed, but until you ride it, you don't know if it'll turn you into Travis yourself. Number 4 is the Battalion Surfer. This board did get a total remodel on it where it's still going to have some of the main aspects of Battalion, but it did get some new ones as well. So you still have that 3BT in the nose, which is going to help it float, and which especially you want from a powder board, but they made a few minor tweaks to it. They added a tiny powder hull on the tail, so it's not just going to be that straight fishtail on it. You do have a little bit more of a hull, giving you a little bit more surface area, a little bit better float. They also changed the sidewalls on it to give them a little bit more slim profile. So this board actually does carve better than the predecessor did, where this one will hold an edge on a groomer. It's not just strictly that powder board. You can actually rip some carves on this thing and not worry if that actual edge is going to hold. This board does have a higher end base than those other battalions. It's more of that plus end, I would say, where it is fast. It's not going to get suction cupped or anything like that. Just a nice smooth ride. Number 3, the Nidecker Ultralight. This board is made to go fast. It just wants to go straight and push through anything. It is nice and damp and reactive, and I'm not going to say it's lively by any means, where when I say reactive, this thing will just push through those mogul fields. Instead of storing up that energy, it'll actually absorb that energy. But this thing just wants to go fast, wants to go straight. It does have a really strong deep structure in it that is pretty much the best structure that Nidecker makes, and this thing is crazy light. It will pretty much just fly down the mountain, and that's all it wants to do. It's not made for going slow and hanging out with the kids on the cat track. This thing just wants to go fast. If you're a racer, this would be a great board for you. Remember to like, subscribe, click that bell, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss any of the content we have coming out. Number 2, the Capita Megadeth. This board pretty much has everything that Capita has to offer, where it has the best structure in the game, in my opinion at least. This thing just wicks moisture away from it, and it just wants to go fast. Now it does have carbon running from the nose to the tail, but that doesn't mean it's super stiff. This board almost feels like a hockey stick. When you flex into it, it snaps back tenfold. Now I will say it's not going to be the most durable board out there. Capita did fix that problem by adding a little bit thicker base to it. So even if you do hit that pebble, it's not going to go straight to the core like some people did have problems with last year. But I will say, like I've said in every video I've talked about this board in, take this thing out when the snow is completely covering everything and it's a smooth groomer day. Don't take it in the trees in that bony early season. Don't take it in the park on rails. I don't know why you would ever think that would be a good idea. You can take it off of jumps, but I wouldn't say it's made for that by any means. This thing just wants to go fast and turn. So just keep it to that and it'll stay perfect for you. Honorable mentions. Remember, these are all great options as snowboards with a big price tag. They just weren't able to crack our top 5. The first honorable mention is going to be the Nitro Highlander. This board is coming with a big price tag, but it's got all of that tech in it. It's gonna have a nice steep sidewall, so when you do lay it on edge, it holds that edge. It's gonna have Korua in it to help cut down on vibrations and all of that transferring up into your legs, and it's gonna have a full camber profile. This thing just rips an edge. It wants to go fast, and it's pretty much the Ferrari of what Nitro has to offer. The second honorable mention is gonna be the Capita Mega Merc. This board is nice and approachable for those intermediates to advanced riders where they just need something that they can daily drive and really take anywhere. This board has 3D core milling on the top sheet, so the swing weight is nice and light when you do take it off of side hits, jumps, and even drops. It's nice and easy to spin. That being said, the nose and the tail are gonna be a little bit softer, so when you're buttering and pressing, it makes it a little bit easier, but also when you're in powder, that nose just kind of wants to flop up and stay above that snow and pretty much just have a good time on this board. It does everything. And the final honorable mention is gonna be the Korua Nose Rider. Yes, a novelty board did make the list. This board is literally just made to have fun on. Try to go and hang 10 on this thing. It's just an expensive board just for fun. So don't try to take it in the park. Don't try to rip super hard carves. Just have a good time and just keep it relaxed. Remember, these are all great choices, but they just weren't able to crack our top 5. If you're looking for another way to get involved in the community, head on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. Sure, I could explain it here, but we have a great video over there getting into it really in depth. And the number one Price is Right board for the 2025 season is the Jones Project X. This might be the most versatile board on the list. It comes in the same shape as the Stratos. They just tweaked it a little bit. So you're gonna have Korua running from the nose to the tail, and you're gonna have a race base on this board. So it's gonna be extremely fast, but it's not gonna be as stiff as the Stratos is. So it's coming in about that mid-stiff range, I would say, where you could still flex into it. You can pretty much take this board anywhere and have a good time on it. Now, be careful where you take this thing just because of how much it actually costs. It's gonna be a pain in the ass to fix or even try to get fixed just because of all of those fancy materials in this thing. As always, guys, I've been your host, TC, and this has been Top 5 Price is Right boards, AKA the most expensive boards on the market. If this list is just a little bit too expensive for you, why don't you go check out one of our other top 5 lists? I'm sure we have something in your price range.